Welcome to another episode of Behind the Scenes with Cookeville Lifestyle. The roles are reversed for this episode. I am interviewing Chelsea.
Hello, everyone.
What's up?
I don't know. I'm already crying.
I love it.
God.
It's going to be great. Off the rails before we even start the
Crying,
train.
laughing. Hello.
Hi. On today's episode, I want to learn about Chelsea Dartez.
Yes.
Let's go all the way back because you've moved here. You've been here for a few years. A lot of people know you from the magazine, but they don't actually know you. And I want to pull back the curtain on the wonderful person that you are and give a little bit of background on your life and your talents and all the things you've accomplished at such a young age. I guess we can start. Where did you grow up?
Texas. And I used to sing. I was a singer.
I didn't know this.
Childhood, and I played guitar.
What?
You did too know
No,
this.
I did not.
What?
I knew that Brett was in a boy band, but I didn't know that you
Yeah,
sang.
my husband was also in a boy band. And he was a music teacher. Anyway. Yes, I was a singer. Like big time. Every weekend. There's a thing in Texas called the Opry Circuit. And aspiring singers go around every weekend to all these small towns in Texas, and there are these barns basically that they have a bunch of old men playing. They know every song, country song.
Yeah.
And you just say, I want to sing Martina McBride, Broken Wing, and they play it and you sing it. And you perform every weekend. That's what my parents took me to do. Perform at different
I had no
Opry
idea.
houses in Texas.
See, I'm learning stuff already.
Yes, so I did that, and then I knew either I wanted to be a singer or be in the music industry. So that's why I went to Belmont, and then I got there, and I was like, oh, I'm terrible compared to all these people at Belmont. They were all so talented.
Well, when you got to Belmont, what area did you study? What was your
Music business.
music business? And you graduated from Belmont. While you were at Belmont, did you do any like job shadowing or internships or?
I had 4 or 5 internships while I was there. I worked at Rascal Flatts Management Company. I worked at National Songwriters Association International. I worked at Warner in the PR department. I worked at the Grand Ole Opry in the marketing department. And I worked at, I think I had another one shoved in there that I'm blanking. And then I worked at a PR, like a boutique PR firm. And I got hired on when I was a junior in college, part-time, to work there. And I was making like $9 an hour, and they wanted me to work even when I got home. I was like, this is not going to pay my student loans off.
Yeah.
So I spent all that time while I was in college networking with people in the music industry, and all the people that I'd interned for were offering the opportunities during. So I knew that I knew enough people, and I had met my business partner at the time was a publicist. She had just moved from New York City. She would get hired from labels in Nashville to organize media junkets for like album releases up in New York. So she would book the Today Show, all the late night shows, the morning TV, print, all that. So we made a good duo because I knew everyone in Nashville. She knew everyone in national media. And we started our own PR firm when I was 21 in 2012.
What was the name of that PR firm?
C2 Media Relations.
C2 Media. And then who were some of your, was it a struggle to launch, or because of your networking, did you already have some clients kind of stockpiled?
So when we left, we didn't like steal the clients, but we left and they
Came with you.
naturally followed us. And then we got some other ones right off the bat that weren't with us before. And so honestly, it was pretty seamless. And we hit the ground running. We worked with a lot of up and coming independent artists, but then we also worked with Justin Moore for a while, Lone Star, Clay Walker, Daly and Vincent. Those are probably some of the names you might. There was a guy named Greg Bates we worked with for a while. He had a couple number ones. Craig Campbell.
Yeah.
Those are probably the more recognizable names that you would know. And then towards the end, so then in 2016, my husband got a job here. And we decided to move here because he can't commute back and forth. Like my job, I didn't have to be there at 8 a.m., you know. So we decided to move here, and we still had our office in Nashville. And then just quickly decided we didn't really need the office. We'll just work from home. And I was still commuting until I had my second kid in 2021. And I decided I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But in that time after I moved here in 2020 is when I met Jake. And that's really what, Jake Hoot, that's really what connected me to a bunch more people in Cookeville.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was really just going to Nashville, hanging out here with my family and not really, I didn't know anybody
Yeah.
really, except for Philip Gibbons and
Yeah.
Ricky, the people that I'd worked with Jake. And so, yeah, working with Jake is what really led me to meet people in Cookeville. And then, um, after wasn't even pregnant with my second child when I started working with Jake, I don't believe. But after I had my second child, I decided Jake needed somebody in Nashville a lot more than I could be there. So it wasn't working for me to be in the music industry at all anymore.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a step away, and that's when I started the magazine. But I will go back. When I was in college, I worked at a bar downtown called Lonnie's, a karaoke bar. And I was the karaoke host, and it was the most fun. It was in Printer's Alley before they demolished it and put the Dream Hotel up. But I met a ton of music industry people there.
Yeah.
And they were regulars and stuff like that. So I feel like that's another area where I got my foot in the door in that, right. But
What did you think was part of your skill set and your personality that maybe like ingratiated you to those people? Was it listening to them? Was it just being authentic? I guess for people that are trying to start out in a creative career, what advice would you have about that balance of authenticity and openness and just being warm and how much that can benefit your career?
I mean, just work hard in every opportunity that you get. I feel like in every internship that I had, I was making no money, but I worked like it was my job. And I didn't ask 1,000 questions about every single thing. If I didn't know something, I tried to figure out on my own because these people don't have time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have you as an intern because you're not going to be there long. So I would Google it, try to figure it out on my own. And I think they all appreciated that. So they would open the doors for other people in the music industry that I met. And then I also spent so much time networking, and it's very uncomfortable when you start networking in new places or new industries because you might not know anybody and you feel like you're a loner in every room, but you kind of just got to dive in and embrace it and go up to the bar, talk to, whatever it is, and just get comfortable in the uncomfortable. And you kind of just, if you want to be in the music industry, you have to have a extroverted personality. I would say.
Yeah, I would say, or a team of extroverts that are going to work on your behalf for sure.
True.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. It's like if you want to get good at something, just start doing it at an amateur level and doing it at a discounted rate or doing it for free, and then build your book and build your skill set. And that's how I've approached everything that I do. Is I've started out with just trying to work as hard as I can and get better incrementally.
Yeah.
And be better in 6 months than I was 6 months ago. And I think that's, I've been given that advice by some people I look up to, and it really helps me every day to kind of stay focused and to keep growing, hopefully.
It is. It's just a tough industry, but it is interesting. I know you know this as well, but I've had interns, and they just don't work hard. I don't know what it is about the new generation, but I'm telling you, you people are going to be sorely disappointed if you can't land a job, if you don't work hard and take every opportunity seriously, because there's so many other people out there that will work harder than you, that are going to get the opportunities before you. And this new generation, I feel like, is just very introverted. I don't know if it's COVID or what happened, but do you know what I mean?
Well, and I think for me, it's like the in music especially, it's like your talent is so secondary to are you a good hang?
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
are you fun to hang out with? Are you the same person every single day? Can you be counted on to be Chelsea? Can I be counted on to be Andrew every day? If the answer to that is yes, I feel like you're so far ahead of so much of your competition, even if they're better at everything. If they're better singers, they're better guitar players. I'm very grateful for some opportunities that I've been given that much better guitar players haven't been given. Just because, I'm not perfect. Gosh, I have my bad days, but I just want to be a warm person.
Around, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, and you absolutely are too. And you're the same person every single time that anyone interacts with you. And I think that if I was giving anybody advice, especially like the young generation that's getting started as interns or getting started in any creative field, it's like be an awesome hang.
Mm-hmm.
Like work hard, sure, keep a good work-life balance and all that stuff, but work hard and just be fun to be around and be the same person every day. Because like if people can't depend on you to be the same person every day, that's a slippery slope of where does the trust stop? If I can't trust their personality, can I trust this or can I trust that? And I think it's a challenge for all of us to stay
Yeah.
consistent, but especially for people just getting into creativity, I feel like that one of the things I admire most about you is your consistency and how you're the same person always. And I think that's part of why people have been drawn to the magazine is because when they meet you in person, they really like you.
Oh, well, thank
And
you.
that's kind of what that it's a huge tool, and it's not you're not nice for that reason.
Hmm.
You're a nice, and it's a byproduct of being nice that you're not looking for. It just happens.
Well, same to you.
Well, thanks, I appreciate that. Um,
But that is great advice.
I think it's helped. It's I keep it in my mind all the time for sure. Talking about the magazine, here we are. We're so many editions in. I've been with you now for maybe seven editions, something like that, 6 or 7.
I think 9. But
Nine,
whatever.
nine,
Not as
something.
the editor in chief, but since the second edition, you've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
on
that's it.
the team.
And so you've done 10 total, right?
This one will be 10.
This one will be 10.
It's about to come out.
I'd love to ask you some of the challenges that you faced that you'd want to share, and also some of the surprising successes that have come with the magazine. That maybe as you transitioned, because you e-braked your career, you went from one creative industry to a completely different creative industry in a small market, which is daunting for anything in print media, especially in 2021 whenever you started working on it.
Yeah.
What's been some of the good and the bad surprises maybe about doing this?
Well, I'll start with the good. I couldn't believe how much the community embraced the magazine,
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yeah.
To me, that was luck. I don't know because I don't know if it was right place, right time, if it was good branding or the way I rolled it out, or luck, or a mixture of all the things. But I feel like the brand caught on really fast, and the people in Cookeville is what made it a thing. Otherwise, I'd probably be here begging for advertisers, barely breaking even,
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest surprise and also all the people that agreed to be in it.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous in the
CG
beginning.
was your first cover, right?
Yes,
That
but
that was such a great call to have CG on it. Such
yes.
a beloved member of the
And
community.
I think they'd just opened the Exceptional
Yeah.
Bean, but when I started working on it, they hadn't yet. And then like Phil Oldham was in that, and I was so nervous. I remember I had to interview everybody back then, and
Mm-hmm.
all these really important people. Phil Oldham, who's the president of tech,
Yeah.
all these really important people who have no clue who I am. I feel like a little bit of imposter sometimes in this town because I'm not from here, and a lot of people are, and they're like, "Who is this chick coming in thinking she knows everything?" I don't feel that way, but I think they might perceive it as that. But I was very excited that all the people
Mm-hmm.
agreed
Yeah.
to be in the first edition, and then it caught on. And the biggest challenge I think is making the thing profitable and keeping it growing in a smaller community.
Yeah.
I think anybody in advertising, I'd never done advertising. I'd done PR, but never advertising. And really, that's my main job now because without partners, we couldn't, that's how we survive as our advertisers. And it's hard to get people to want to spend money sometimes. I feel like some people don't understand that advertising is more so about putting your brand awareness and having your brand in front of people consistently to create that brand awareness.
Like the cohesion.
Yeah. And people think that they put an ad in a magazine and immediately they're going to have 15 people calling them or knocking down their door. Well, that's not really how it works. And that's the same thing with PR.
Mm-hmm.
Artists would think they hire a publicist and overnight they're an A-list celebrity. Well, no, it takes years of grinding it out and putting your name out there consistently in the news. Same thing with advertising. So I think getting people around here to understand that is the biggest hurdle. But I will say I am lucky to have a ton of return advertisers in every single edition that are super supportive, and I think they understand. It's including Willow Window. They're a gatefold advertiser, and I'm so grateful for them. And they certainly understand advertising because they do it across multiple mediums. And that's important when you own a business. So
For sure. Yeah, I think there's a level of empathy there. I think we have some really great advertisers that are also in the grind with us, that are trying to push Cookeville to the highest point that it can possibly be, and we're all kind of pulling in the same direction.
Yeah,
and it's nice for them to come along with us.
And a lot of people are struggling financially.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people that even advertise with me might not really have a huge budget, and I understand that
Yeah.
totally. But I mean, that's pretty much how we can function.
Yeah. We got a lot of people playing the long game and looking for small growth over time, and to get through some lean seasons with us. And I think that's really nice to have them on board with us. Okay, well, Chelsea, we're going to stop there for the day. Now we know a little bit about your history. And so if you see Chelsea out on the street, stop her, ask her about music. She'll be more than happy to talk to you. She's super
I
warm
don't
and
sing
friendly.
anymore, by the way. Lisa Urick, I owe her a text message. She asked me if I could be in some sort of choir at Plenty.
I didn't know you sang until
I'm
today.
like, I will sing if I have a couple cocktails at karaoke, but I don't know if I'm going to be up on a stage singing anytime soon.
Oh, I love it. Well, Chelsea, you're one of my best friends in the world. You've given me so many great opportunities through this magazine. I love working on it with you. Chelsea's a great
Same.
person and a good friend, just a wonderful friend. And I'm happy that the listeners and viewers have got to know a little bit more about you. And there's
Thank
so much
you.
more to Chelsea. But thanks for joining us today on Behind the Scenes with Cookeville Lifestyle. And we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.